Hello, everyone. As you join, we'd love to know where you're calling from. So please, in the chat, please just let us know where you're calling from. It's always really great to know that. We're excited about today's webinar, Coaching in the Ring. It'll be live. It'll be unscripted. It's totally unrehearsed. And so we're very excited. We have about probably about 1 minute, and we're going to be off to the races. We definitely don't want to miss any time here because you don't want to miss this coaching exchange. So welcome. Love it. Love it.
It's exciting to see where everyone's calling in from. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for making the time to be here today.
Yes. Cape May, South Africa. I see that. Scotch Creek, Los Angeles. Awesome. Pearland, Texas, Thunder Bay. Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for joining. Let's go ahead and get started. We don't want to miss a minute here. Hello, everyone, and welcome. For those of you who are familiar with our webinar series, welcome back. For those of you who are joining for the very first time, please know that these webinars are hosted by the International Coaching Group, also known as Coaching Out of the Box. Coaching Out of the Box is a level 1 ICF accredited coach educator committed to excellence in coach education. What does that mean? It means that all of our programs here are accredited by the International Coaching Federation, and they're also SHRM certified. My name is Ellie Tava, and I am the Director of Sales here at the International Coaching Group, and I'm excited to be here. Coaching in the Ring is an opportunity for you to see firsthand from a master certified coach an unscripted, unrehearsed coaching exchange. But before we start, let me share a couple of things. At the bottom of your screen, you'll see a Q&A button. Please feel free to ask any questions that you might have using that button. And also, you want to, if you'd like to ask your questions in the chat, please make sure you post your comments and your questions to everyone so that our panelists will, not only the panelists, but that we will be able to see your questions and answer them throughout the webinar engagement. A few other things, just to let you know, this webinar is recorded and it will be available to you after this call. We also have coaches here that are looking for CCE credit. After this webinar, we'll also be reaching out to you and providing that certificate, that CCE certificate as well. The format of today's webinar is really simple. Lorraine Giddick is a master certified coach. She's the founder of CEO Soul Designs Coaching. She's a coach educator and she's a master certified coach. And I need to say this, she's been a coach since 2006. What does that mean? That means she has thousands of hours of coaching in her career. She's also the director of certification at Coaching Out of the Box, which means she has lived, breathed, and understands the ICF's definition of coaching, code of ethics, and core competencies. And that's what we're going to see today. We're going to see it firsthand. A little bit about our volunteers today. These two volunteers they're going to be two separate individual coaching exchanges with Lorraine. Lorraine does know each of these volunteers, but they are not her clients. So again, she doesn't know what they're going to talk about or ask, but that's the exciting part, right? So without further ado, let me bring Lorraine onto the screen. All right. Hi, Lorraine.
There, I unmuted myself. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Well, thanks. Thanks, Ellie.
Are you ready for this?
I am so ready. I love this Coaching in the Ring opportunity, and I am so grateful to Sharon and Dr. Kelly for being willing to be in this environment and be coached. And it's such a great opportunity for people to see what coaching is, whether they are looking to be coached themselves or looking for coach education. Just again, having that model, being able to, it's invaluable. So Jennifer and Sharon, thank you so much for being willing to be coached in this somewhat odd environment.
Yes, absolutely welcome. And thank you so much. You know, I'd like to start off, Lorraine, with the definition of coaching, right? Because I think that sets the playing field. As we understand, so many people call themselves coaches, some of them are credentialed, and we talked about that in our last webinar, right? About to be or not to be credentialed. So here we are now, you're a master certified coach, which I'm just excited about the exchange today. But ICF defines coaching as partnering with clients in a thought-provoking and creative process that inspires them to maximize their personal and professional potential. You know, the process of coaching, as we know, often unlocks previously untapped sources of imagination and productivity and leadership within each individual. You know, we all strive to overcome challenges, and we also have goals that we want to reach, right? But oftentimes we get stuck and we just don't know where to go. And so partnering with a coach can change lives. Sometimes people say it's transformational, right? And puts them on a path to a greater personal and professional path to fulfillment. What do you say about that, Lorraine?
Oh, I see. That's a really great definition of coaching. Well done.
Well, thank you.
It's a unique experience being coached. I think also you really fully embody the experience and can understand what it is by being coached. So it's one thing to see coaching. This is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for people to understand the definition that you just shared, you know, by it being modeled, but then actually being coached. You're like, oh, I get it. It is not consulting, it is not therapy, it's really tapping into that latent potential within, simply by having the space to explore, be creative, be resourceful, and be in a state of non-judgment. I think that's a really important part of what coaches bring, that helps people step outside of perhaps limited thinking and limiting beliefs and really move into what they desire, what they might even feel they don't deserve, but desire. Like there's all kinds of cool conversations that happen in that space. Yeah.
I love how you just defined what it's not, because it can get so confusing, right? I mean, this is exciting. So Lorraine, I know Dr. Kelly's going to be up first, and you'll start your coaching exchange with Dr. Kelly. And
I think we're going to flip it. So Sharon she's here. So
perfect.
So we'll because she was intending on being first, and we'll just roll with Sharon if that's okay.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Lorraine. So Sharon Toes, thank you very much for being here, being brave. And
I really know what I'm getting myself into, Lorraine.
Yeah, but that's, you do that really well.
I always said, you know what, after, I've known Lorraine for a while, and I was like, now I will never say no to any opportunity that she asks. She's amazing.
Well, that's wonderful. So thank you so much, Sharon. I appreciate that. And without further ado, I'm going to let you start. Lorraine, I'm turning the reins over to you. We'll go for 20 minutes, then we'll debrief. And again, please post your questions and comments, and we'll be monitoring that. So when we do the debrief, we can actually bring those questions and comments to the forefront. Thank you so much. Take it away.
Okay. Thanks, Ellie. And just so you know, Sharon, Ellie is going to pop in and say 5 minutes when we're 15 minutes in, just to orient me around the time, because we want to get 2 sessions in here today and a little bit of debrief. So we do have a mini session, 20. Can we have Sharon pinned so she's showing on the screen? Is that possible? Or Sharon, maybe you just need to speak. I don't know.
Oh, can you
How
hear
does
me?
that work? Oh, there we go. There you are. Okay, I can see now.
Mhm.
So we have a mini coaching session today and we can cover any topic. It's my job to support you to narrow that topic down to something that's manageable in 20 minutes. So what's top of mind? What are you bringing in with regards to your coaching today?
Well, I think right now, I mean, I really honestly am 100% focused on business. So
Okay.
let's definitely maybe dive into the business world.
Okay, I would love to do that with you.
And I don't really know where we're going to go with this, but
Okay, well, that just is a reflection of your courage and curiosity, which I love about you. So let's just start the conversation then. So business is the meta topic. What are the things that are top of mind
I'm
for
sorry,
you?
I was trying to move away from my father-in-law from he's mowing the lawn and I'm like running. That's why I was moving. It's kind of noisy. Sorry.
I don't think it's not coming across.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, at this point anyway. Okay. So what is it about business that's top of mind for you?
I mean, right now it's just I just have a lot going on. So it's like even just learning how to delegate jobs better to people who are willing to help, I think is still a learning curve for me, but I think I'm definitely getting there. We've expanded with our business huge this year. So I'm a little nervous, but excited at the same time and just trying to stay focused on making sure it all runs smoothly.
Okay, so
yeah.
you're in this place of expansion, you're in this business, exciting, daunting, bringing new ideas to life space.
Yeah.
What, for our 20 minutes, what is the most essential thing that you can pull out of all the things that you're working on and focused on in your business that you would like more of or want some clarity around?
Oh man, I honestly don't. I have so many things on my mind. It's hard to narrow it down to just one. But I mean, I think like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I am doing a pretty good job, like at a lot. I mean, it's definitely a whole lot going on, and I think like learning how to be a better boss, maybe, is always a topic that I'm interested in learning more about. Learning how to create, team work with staff.
Mhm.
Is really important to me. Learning how to team build, that kind of stuff, which is
Okay.
still, that's totally new, but I really would like to learn how to, yeah, team build.
Okay. So look at you. You just filtered through all the stuff that's going on and you said it's going to be challenging, but boom, here it is. So I'll just reflect this back to you and see if this feels right to you for our focus. So you would like to focus on being a better boss. And right now, what that means is really building your team and exploring what that means to you.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. So if we were to spend the next 15 minutes talking about that, would that be meaningful?
Yeah.
Okay. So what would be meaningful to you about that?
I mean, I just think it's so important for, just staff just wanting to be here and wanting to work here, right? So it just trying, and which I think is working. It is working, but I definitely have a challenge coming up this weekend with one employee that we're bringing into the group that another employee doesn't get along with. So that's trying to figure out, yeah, how that's going to play out, and hopefully it doesn't affect the team, but
So what I'm hearing is that there's actually a topic even more deeply embedded in this broader topic of teamwork. Because I hear you saying, well, you know what, I'm actually kind of doing okay in that space.
yeah.
And then there's this, this
Yeah.
relationship that you've got some concerns about. So
Yeah.
To talk about that, to reflect on that and coach around that.
Mhm.
Would that be the thing
Yeah.
today?
Yeah, sure. Because
Okay.
that's coming up.
Yeah, I hear that. And thanks for being willing to drill down from this like really top level down into something that's really meaningful, relevant, and important to you right now, and timely because you're moving into the long weekend here in Canada. So
yeah.
Okay, so what is it about this relationship that you're speaking to us about that is most difficult for you as a manager and a business owner?
I think maybe well, because I know them both really well too, and they both have worked for me like for different time periods and different businesses, but yeah, they're so Yeah, it's a challenge because the one employee yesterday, when we told her that the other one was coming on this weekend, and she was like, "Oh, just to let you know, you're gonna lose a lot of customers from her friend base if we hire this girl." And I was like, "Oh, well, that's, unfortunate, because I hope that you guys can be mature enough to, get through this, right?" But
Mhm, mhm.
yeah, so I don't really know. I feel like I'm a little bit stuck on, yeah, I don't want it to affect the team morale.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so what's important for you here is to maintain morale, staff retention, continue to develop your team. And what's difficult for you about this particular situation is that that's at risk. So what's hard for you about this situation between these two
The
people?
personal connection, yeah, between the two of them, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So given that that is where the challenge is for you and that's where the concern is,
Mhm.
what's the most ideal outcome for this 20-minute, like what do you want to leave with that would be most helpful considering the concern and the situation that you're experiencing and the desire that you have to maintain and retain your staff?
Some guidance.
Okay. Okay, so in coaching, of course, that guidance is going to be internal.
Right, totally.
Okay,
Totally.
we're going to tap into your brilliance. Okay, so so you're looking for some guidance.
Mhm.
And what form, like what guidance is it that you need the most? Like if you were, wait, let me back up.
Mhm.
If you were to receive guidance that was like, oh, that's brilliant, what would that be?
Yeah, I mean, just trying to figure out a solution, I guess, I know I was, I'm like, do I put them on different schedules? Or I think Saturday they're technically not working together, which will be nice. Just for the first, like, getting them used to getting into the swing of, okay, they're gonna be here, maybe not on the same day, but yet if one comes in as a customer, then the other one's gonna serve them, which I know too in the restaurant industry too, when that happens, it's a challenge too, because then the person serving them, if they don't like them, they're gonna,
Mhm.
potentially ignore them and not treat them like the rest of the customers, right? Which I really don't want. Yeah, so
Yeah.
trying to make sure that they're, respectful to each other.
Okay, so I'm really hearing in what you just said that what's really important for you in this and the opportunity for you as a business owner is to learn how to navigate and manage conflict.
Yeah.
In a way that doesn't affect the
team.
the team and also the experience of your customers.
Totally, right? It's like learning how to put the personal issues aside so they can still give their best performance.
Yeah. Okay. So this is really an opportunity. So this is me putting a different lens on this. So what I'm recognizing now as we're talking is that there's an opportunity for you to learn how to manage this kind of conflict.
Yeah.
So yay, thank you to these people for bringing you this growth opportunity.
Right. It's like, what is the universe teaching me?
Yeah. So from the perspective of life happening for you, not to you, and that this is an opportunity, what is within you to tap into to help you create the outcome that's best for all concerned here?
Well, I think just learning how to, I'm getting there, but like trying to be a good role model for them so they can, realize that, yeah, like you don't have to yell and be mad at, I get, obviously we all don't get along with people, right? But there's a respectful way of talking to people. So I'm hoping that maybe I can influence them to, be a bit kinder to each other, and learn to forgive.
Okay. So there's an aspect of role modeling here. There's an aspect of what else in this managing conflict space will help things go right.
Yeah, I think maybe like we do briefing, like team briefing meetings every shift change. So maybe even just, I'm gonna write that on my list right now, of talking to, staff about maybe, yeah, conflict actually should be one that I should add to the list. Because I don't think we've actually even talked about that because it hasn't been brought up yet. We haven't had to address it. So let me add that to today's topic. Yeah, and maybe talking with them about how to resolve conflict, even with customers, right? We had a really awful customer here on Saturday who literally we were serving him drinks at the bar and he was pissing on the sea can at the bar. Yeah. So it was someone that we know locally, and he's a young kid. And I didn't know that it happened until the next day. The next day. And then he came to pay his bill yesterday. And I was like, listen, I said, I had gave him one serious warning, and I just said, you know, if that happens again, you will be banned, right? But it's just, again, that's another conflict living in a small town too, right? And as you know, living here and trying to learn how to, you don't want to, yeah, there's just certain, you have to choose your words right, which is challenging. Yeah.
I hear that being a business owner for you at this time is requiring some reflection and thought that you might not have anticipated with regards to the different things and situations that come up that are people related.
Yeah, totally.
I'm also hearing you're not necessarily saying this, so I want to check this out. So it's not just an assumption of mine. It seems to me that you have a very clear image or picture of or idea of how you want the environment of your business and business space to be.
Yes.
So that's a standard. That's a standard that is yours to uphold as the business owner.
Yeah.
So
Right.
underneath that's, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, yeah, you're totally right. Like I really, yeah, I have a full vision on what, and I want the way from when people walk in here, you know, how their experience is when they even first just enter the establishment, right? To their whole customer service, you know, and leaving here and just feeling, you know, amazing at the end of it. But I also want my staff to really feel fulfilled too. So
okay, so and I'm watching you smile. Your energy is very different when you're talking about that vision, that image, that desire that you have that you're creating. So what's helpful for you about recognizing that that's a standard that is yours to maintain and hold as a business owner?
it's pressure for sure, but I think it's also fulfilling. Yeah, like I feel really good about yeah, I mean, I had another challenge the other day. I actually had to fire an employee, and this was hard for me because it was a small town thing, right? But I feel proud of like that I did it, although it was super hard. That was actually probably one of the hardest decisions that I had to make, because I had to set the standard. I was like, so one of my employees was underage and she ordered tequila shots from another employee, and the new employee, you know, we have this obviously ID everyone, you know, who looks under 30, but then the employee assumed that this employee was of age because she's 18, not 19, but she looks like she could have been of age. But why would she be ordering shots if she wasn't of age? And so anyways, to make a long story short, I ended up having to fire her over the situation, because I mean, I could have lost my liquor license for life. Right. So, but that was like such a challenge. And so there's definitely been this week for sure there's been a lot, you know, with just different things arising that I didn't expect.
And
Yeah.
it sounds like you're navigating them and in a way, so you're handling these conflicts in a way that's revealing to you that you can do hard stuff, and
Right.
you can do
Yeah.
these things, you can handle these things as they come up. So just to check in with you as we're coming along. So the topic, what we narrowed down to was really looking at how you manage conflict as a business owner, interrelational, both, and it sounds like both within your team and staff, as well as outward facing. And your desire is to really tap into guidance about how to navigate this and continue to work this particular situation with your team.
Yeah.
5-minute warning.
Thank you. What's being revealed to you? Like, what are you learning about yourself as we're having this conversation when you think about you and managing conflict and this situation with your staff members specifically?
I definitely feel like I've had a lot of growth for sure with this. Yeah, just in the last year with conflict, really, with some other things going on, right? But yeah, yeah, I mean, there's always more work to be done, right? But I'm feeling a lot better about it. Although, you know, like firing her the other day was certainly not fun
Mhm.
by any means, but that's, I guess, part of being a business owner too, that I just have to accept and realize that I just have to be okay with it.
Okay, so I hear that accepting that this is part of being a business owner, that even though your standard and your desire is this harmonious, beautiful environment that where everyone, you know, connects and gets along and has a good time and a good experience and feels cared for and all that stuff, and that there will be moments and times where that isn't necessary, that conflict arises and there's problems that arise, and that you can handle those as they come up.
Yeah.
What is being revealed to you as far as how to move forward? Like, what have you learned about how to move forward with your staff situation as a result of just connecting with this and talking through it a little bit today?
I mean, I think definitely the whole acceptance of, yeah, understanding that I can't control everything, right? So I think that's been acknowledged on my behalf, right? That I do just have to go with the flow a lot of times. But I think just educating the staff on all these topics, like if I just can, you know, try to be open minded with them and bring these topics forward so that you know, not personally, but, you know, just and as a general, then I think we'll have a better team meetings and, you know, get these topics out there so that everybody knows what to expect, and maybe, you know, and trying to get them to and communicating with me, right, when topics arise, so that I can deal with them rather than even putting them in those positions to have to deal with them.
Okay, wow. So I hear you really anchoring into like these are the things you said. This is how you can navigate problems and conflicts as they arrive. Be really open and engage and discuss. So role model that behavior, bring those conversations to the table. Talk about how are we going to work this through together and not take it on yourself. So then
Yeah,
you're growing your team as a result of inviting them to solve this problem.
yeah,
But I also hear what's important to you is supporting that process, is recognizing that you're supporting that you're creating the space for them to figure it out. And also there's points when you might need to step in, and that you have been learning over the last several months that you are able to do that you can take care of those things and you can do the hard things if necessary.
mhm,
Okay.
exactly.
So what's one next step that I think you've alluded to it a couple of times. You wrote down, conflict, like there was something about conflict that you really resonated with and about bringing that to your staff. So I just wanted to hear from you, what action will you take as a result of our coaching here today?
Well, addressing some new topics for our team meetings for sure, which we'll be having one in a couple hours. And yeah, I just really want to boost everyone up with excitement. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I think this topic actually was really good.
It was a great topic. You picked a fantastic topic.
And look at where your
And
we're looking at your seat tonight, Ray.
I know I get to go and yes, reserve seating. Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Sharon. So there is some information I want to share and then we'll close. And that is from my experience as a business owner, it's important to share the vision and not assume it. So I wanted to just put that out as we close here and see if there's anything in that sharing of information that's relevant or helpful to you as you continue to develop and grow your team.
So share the vision as in like the business vision, or
The standard of relating and being and customer service and connection and that you are holding for your staff and your customers.
yeah, I mean, I definitely just I feel like customers are definitely very excited to come here, and I want to uphold that that standard and yeah, and just continue with the team building to make everyone just happy. And I video the staff dancing around all the time, and and that's literally how they live here, which is amazing, that they seem to be very happy working for me, and I just want to continue to keep that up.
Fantastic, Sharon. Thank you so much. And I'm just so grateful for, again, you coming here today. And if you had to just sum up your experience in one word as we close, what would that be today?
Excitement.
Excitement. Fantastic. From conflict to excitement in 20 minutes. Well done. And I'm excited about your team meeting, because my sense is that you're excited about your team meeting. You've got new things to bring to your people to support that desire you have to help things go right with your staff and grow them as people.
Thank you.
So thank you. Now you have a choice, Sharon. You can either stay on for the debrief if anybody here and that's watching wants to ask you any questions, or you can choose to leave. It's up to you. What would you prefer?
Yeah, I can say.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Right. So let's
Excellent.
just open it up to Ellie. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much. That was absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much, Sharon, for sharing and bringing yourself here, your whole self actually here. And that was exciting, from, conflict to excitement, for you to be able to use that word. Someone said in the chat here, which I thought was really, really good. Beautiful opening, a beautiful opening affirmation about client courage and curiosity. Love it.
Mm.
So that was a great observation, and Stevie shared that. Was there I'd like to know from both of your perspectives, was there a moment in the coaching exchange where you felt a transitioning happening? Sharon, I'll ask you first about that.
Yeah, I mean, once we narrowed it down to the topic, for sure, then that's the fine. I've been on this side of things. I think that once it's hard, like, until you know what the topic is going to be about, really, and narrowing down the actual one subject like that was the turning, for sure, for me.
Oh, great. What about you, Lorraine, as the coach?
I would say the same. I felt like we settled into something, and I think when the topic is big, it's really difficult to even ask, hey, well, what do I want to be different? So if you don't know what the topic is, so I think it's time well invested, even if you have a short coaching session. And I think Sharon is really showing us that by saying that's was the change point for her, exploring and confirming that agreement, helping our clients I actually have this on my desk, both to help me with time, so this hourglass, but we come in with a lot. And I think the first thing that a coach can do to really be helpful is to narrow it down into something, and then you can go into this exploration of the other part. But there's so much going on for folks when they come to coaching, and like Sharon was like, oh my gosh, there's a lot going on, and it's Canada weekend coming up, and but really just bringing that down to something that's manageable also, I think, helps our clients tap into their resourcefulness as well.
And thank you, Lorraine. There's also, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Just a quick coaching tip. And the ICF suggests that we can spend up to 50% of a coaching session exploring and confirming different aspects of the coaching agreement, as long as there's time for some exploration and action.
Well, thank you, Lorraine. There's a question here in the Q&A chat, and I think it's for you, Lorraine. It says, I noticed you brought up your experience as a business owner, but used it as a segue into what Sharon may have learned or will take away. New coaches may struggle with this approach. As a coach, I often straddle this area, and so found this approach helpful. Thank you. Do you have any comments?
I really, as I chose to do that, because I could have just ended the session, I realized that was a higher level coaching skill. So thank you for bringing that forward, whoever did. I made the conscious choice to do that because that was me modeling messaging, which is a higher level coaching skill where you can share information, observations, and or requests of your coachee in a coach-like way. So I wasn't attached to being right. I wasn't, and yet, there was a curiosity for me about whether Sharon had shared her vision or not. So that was alive in me, because if the staff don't know what her vision is for the team, then they don't know what they're existing in, or like what the goal is for the team. They have no vision of that either. So it was my way of putting that into the room while at the same time handing it over to her to connect with what resonated with her, if anything, about that. In the time that I had. So it was a conscious choice. it is a higher level coaching skill, and it is something that newer coaches do struggle with, because your focus is really learning about letting it be about the client. Like, sort of, that's, newer coaches are learning how to let the session be client led. And that's the learning at that level. But at PCC and higher, you start to learn how to be part of the coaching session and share what's coming up for you in a coach-like way and be more co-creative.
Well, Lorraine and Sharon, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
sure.
I think we're going to conclude this, but I do want to leave with, I love it, Lorraine, is you brought that element of not being attached to being right. And that was, you were allowing that space. And I think that's just beautiful. Again, thank you very much. We're going to close out this. If you still, and get ready for our next one here, we'll have Dr. Kelly come on in, and Jennifer Kelly. And so I want to make sure that we are, I'm getting something from our operations team. So thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. And please, if there's still more questions about this session, please keep asking them. We are monitoring the chats. So thank you, Sharon. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Sharon.
Lorraine.
Enjoy your team meeting today. See you
Thank you.
tonight. Okay,
Bye, Jen. Have
bye.
fun.
All right.
Hey, Jaren.
Great. Well, thank you, Dr. Kelly, for joining us here today. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn it
one
over
quick
to you,
question.
Lorraine.
Sorry,
Go
Lorraine,
ahead.
can I sit in for Jen's?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely. Jen, can Sharon sit in for
course.
you with yours? Okay.
I
Absolutely.
really loved listening to your coaching session, Sharon. So thank you.
Great. Sharon, if I could just ask if you can just mute and just turn off your video, that'd be great, so we can spotlight just the two in gallery view for Lorraine.
Do I just have
and Dr.
Do I just have to push the stop video?
No, yes, just the
Yeah,
stop
okay.
video.
Okay.
And the mute button. Yeah, perfect.
Say mute
Thank you so
and-
much.
Yeah.
That's perfect. All right, excellent. So Lorraine and Dr. Kelly, thank you. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Lorraine, so we don't miss another minute. Thank you.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, Jen. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, good to see you. Good to see you. And again, thank you for being in this space and saying yes. I think it's a real great opportunity for folks to see coaching that is real and not necessarily coaches coaching coaches. So I really appreciate your willingness to be in this space with us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so like with Sharon, we have 20 minutes, so mini coaching. And as I said with Sharon, we can take any topic and luxuriate in that space together of figuring out what the actual topic is, and spend some time just really confirming what would be really meaningful for you out of your session today. So with that said, what's top of mind for you as far as a topic?
Well, I think actually similar to Sharon, I'm feeling very excited about different professional directions and opportunities. And I'm just looking for a little bit of direction, I suppose. So I'll back up a little bit. I wrote a book, which was part of what I wanted to do for a couple of years, which, Lorraine, and were very helpful in that process. And it all kind of started steamrolling a little bit forwards at a high speed pace that I was not expecting. So there's this book, and it's wonderful and it's exciting, and I felt like empowered when I wrote it. And the topics around teaching reading and working with teachers is passionate to me. So what happened was right after, it's not even being advertised out to the general public because it's actually not quite totally finished yet. It's with my editor, and we're in, draft 1, draft 2 kind of stage. But it's being marketed by my publisher only to marketing reps or publisher reps. So it's not even really out there. And a really large school district in Ontario contacted my publisher to try and get my contact information to ask me to be a keynote for their summer symposium. Wow. Yeah, which is amazing. super exciting because they haven't even read my book yet.
Yes.
And they just had a little summary of it and were excited about the topic and about me speaking. So that rolling forward, I'm going to be doing their keynote over in Ontario. And
Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you. And running a couple of breakout sessions for them, and other districts in BC have started to show interest as well in that kind of, in the keynote address and looking further at my book. So super excited, super amazed, didn't expect it at all, wasn't like on my horizon. So I'm just feeling, I guess I'm just feeling, I love my job, my regular job that I have, that's full-time and wonderful. I'm also coming into 2 months of having a not working time because I follow the teaching calendar. And what should I really be moving forward with this other kind of opportunity? Should I look at writing a book? Should I look at like developing more of this presenting to outside of BC area? Because that feels exciting and scary at the same time. And then what comes out of that? Does that mean I need to build a website and have a, there just
Whoa.
seems to be, exciting, but
Okay.
full steam.
I hear you. I hear you. And I hear that there's so many different places you can go with this opportunity. So like all that you're sharing and the energy you're sharing, would it be helpful, given our short time together, to just pause after sharing all of that and take a deep breath? Would that offer you anything in this moment?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. What would that bring to you?
So as I do it, I think just, I was kind of just talking without a lot of thinking there. So now I'm just like reflecting on everything that I just said.
Okay.
That is helpful.
Okay, so how about you take a couple deep breaths and just settle, and I'll reflect back to what I heard you say.
Okay.
It all is exciting. It's all exciting. It's unexpected. It's taking on a life of its own that has you questioning what you want. And the speed and the pace of everything happening, end of the year is busy. You're just on the cusp of moving into your downtime. Okay, you just smiled. What were you smiling about?
Because I was thinking the exact same thing. June is crazy for everyone in education. So it feels like.
So you're caught up in this energy.
Yeah.
You're taking a moment to pause. What comes up for you in the pause?
I think that what's coming up is that I can do whatever I want. I have a really great job. I don't want to leave it. There's little avenues or opportunities coming up that I didn't expect. They're all good, but it's my choice on how I move forward with this.
Wow.
And I think that's kind of what I was looking for when I wrote the book. It wasn't about getting it published. It wasn't about speaking engagements or anything, but it was because it was my choice.
Yeah, I remember that. It was so important to be able to, after doing your PhD and after doing your master's and having so many requirements for your writing, to give you that space to express your thoughts, your research, your vantage point without that, oversight was really important to you. And what comes up in the pause for you is choice, and also clarity. I'm hearing a lot of clarity. I'm hearing, I don't want to leave my job. So like all of this has gone to, wait a minute, I actually do know some stuff. I've got lots of questions. There are lots of questions, and I don't want to leave my job. So you're nodding. So what are you nodding about?
Yes, I definitely don't want to leave my job. I'm super lucky to have a job where I could take a bit of time away from it if I wanted to in certain
Mhm.
ways. So flexible with how I accumulate in lieu days and have time within the school year to do other like speaking engagements or things like that. I'm also looking kind of forward to in the future. And I don't know if I mean in the future 1 year or 5 years or 10 years, but I could reduce my position. And as long as I keep it, above 60%, not a lot would change in terms of benefits and things like that, which are very important to me to keep.
Okay. So what I'm hearing also here is that there's like choice has emerged in the pause, right? That you're
Mhm.
remembering, wait a minute, I'm at choice here. Whatever I do. And I hear you doing more unpacking about what things could look like. So let's just pause for a quick second, because we're exploring this topic of the unexpected,
Mhm.
which has been this incredible receptivity to your writing, your voice, your research, your perspective, which is so fantastic. And it was getting a little out of control, but you're like, whew, wait a minute,
Yeah.
I'm at choice.
Yes.
You said coming in that you wanted direction out of this session. Has that clarified any further? Something more meaningful or something else that you would like to leave with in the next 10 minutes that you don't have now?
Well, I recognize that I have a lot of choice. I also recognize that I don't want to have a missed opportunity.
Mm.
I don't want to feel like with all this excitement, which I wasn't anticipating, but
Mhm.
it's coming. So I don't want to let it dissipate either
Okay.
if there's an opportunity.
Okay, so in the unexpected, it seems like what's important to you about the unexpected is the opportunity it's brought. And just because it was unexpected doesn't mean you want to dismiss it or miss anything.
Yes.
Okay, so if not missing an opportunity or the opportunities that are coming in the unexpected, what is it that you need in order to have a sense that you're not missing anything? Or to be able to grab hold of whatever's here for you?
Maybe some priorities on life priorities. So what would it mean if I opened up a little bit of space to do some more exploring? And taking advantage of different opportunities or putting myself out there a little bit more. Yeah. I think I'm kind of reflecting on when I finished my PhD and I would just kind of needed to deflate. I just needed to just status quo. And then thinking about writing the book was like bringing me a little bit out of status quo, I'm going to dabble a little bit here and there and see what happens. And yeah, now I think I'm ready to open up a little bit more space for other
Okay.
opportunities.
Okay.
5-minute check.
Thank you, Ellie. So what does that mean in this moment, to the best of your awareness and knowledge and what's available? To what does it mean to open space to this? You're ready to open to this. What does that mean? What does it look like?
I think it's kind of similar to when I contacted the publisher and just like, what does it involve with publishing a book? How do you publish a book? So maybe it's a little bit more research into what is needed to move forward. Now kind of I know what is involved in publishing a book. So perhaps I'll do a little bit more work on a second book, maybe. But also maybe just looking at how do I market myself? How do I how do I bring more opportunity to myself
Okay.
with a little,
Okay.
with that opening?
So some direction that's emerging then, if I may, please correct me if I'm wrong.
Mhm.
Some direction, which is something you said you wanted from this session, is research, which is your thing, which I love about you because it's really not mine. And I wish it was, because there's so many cool things to explore. But to begin to research, okay, now that I'm at this step, like, so you're here now. This is the landscape. It looks like this. It was unexpected, and here you are. So what are my choices in that space? What could it look like from a what's next professionally point of view? What I'm noticing in that thing, so that's one. So you're nodding. So
Yeah, definitely.
so okay, so that feels like direction, like
Yeah.
potential next steps. Okay. I'm noticing the absence of the questions that you came in with. That seem to be revolving around what I want. It's just an observation, not
Mhm.
attached to it. I'm just curious if there's anything in that for you where you've got next professional steps, but some of the questions you were asking at the beginning were, well, this is important to me. This is not, like, what do I want kind of questions.
Hmm. Well, maybe when I just zone down on the choice aspect, that relieved some of that to, I don't have to make that decision right now. I mean,
It gave you some relief in that space. It's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
remembering you're at choice kind of slowed the roll.
yes.
It's like, whoa, everybody. Right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So that opened you up then. Okay, but this is within your control. Then there's some information that's missing
Mhm, mhm.
about potential next steps and what that could look like that you need to bring into that mix, then into that choice bucket, I guess.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you for saying, like, I really connected when you said this is the landscape where you are right now. I think I keep thinking that that's in the future, that it's something still out there, but you're right, it is, like, it's happening now, and that changes how I'm seeing it.
Yeah. And it was unexpected. So it's kind of like, hello. And you're like, whoa, because you've been doing your work, doing your work, doing your work. And now you're going like, oh, wait a minute, this is happening.
Yes.
And it's happening really fast. And
Yeah.
it just came in. Like, this wasn't part of the plan, people. So now I really appreciate what I've witnessed in you in this last few minutes, and we'll need to wrap here, is that you've created space for yourself, like in this 20 minutes to just reflect on this. And as a result, it's physically and energetically feels like you've come down and you've created space for yourself to tap into your resourcefulness and your way through and finding your own direction, as opposed to being knocked around like all these things happening around you have been somehow impacting you. So now there's a little buffer there for you to go, okay.
Yes.
All right. All right. So what would be meaningful for you as we close? Because Ellie's just come on and we need to wrap up.
Of course. No, I think just that helped ground me. Again, this is a landscape that you're in. I'm taking that away.
Okay. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. This is the landscape that you're in. So I invite you to write that somewhere, really, again, ground in that and anchor into that, if that was what was meaningful for you in our call today. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you, Ellie, for the extra minutes.
Oh, no, you're very welcome. Thank you so much. Wow, that was great. I'm going to read a few comments actually that have been made. One, I think it will resonate with everyone. Says, I noticed her, meaning Dr. Kelly's overall speech and tone became more calmer, which allowed her to think about the questions. And there was a transition there. You could see that. Another comment was, I loved the way the coach asked the client to breathe and pause, which allowed her to explore other options. And that was great. That was beautiful to watch and beautiful to see and see your reaction, Dr. Kelly, to that. Because I think I put there, you know, the statements that you shared when you accepted that pause was two powerful statements you made. The first was, I can do whatever I want. And the second was, it's my choice. And I wrote that, I put them in the webinar chat here. I thought those were just really powerful. And then there was another one. I liked how Lorraine looped back around to the beginning of the conversation, her why. And so those were the comments, but there was a question here, and it says, Lorraine, is it important to get the agreement at the beginning or later on in the conversation?
I would say that at the beginning, as a rule, it's really essential because it gives, I think of it as setting the table for the coaching. If we're exploring, getting clear about what the topic is and the outcome, we have those bookends. We have a container for the conversation. If we explore meaning and what the client wants to address in that space, we are helping them set their brains. We're setting the table for a deeper exploration where they'll have more impact from the coaching. So the conscious choice I made here, so I do want to acknowledge the person that asked that question because they are aware of the agreement. So that's a strength in yours. Otherwise, you wouldn't have recognized that the agreement was more fluid versus solid. I was exploring meaning and tapping into meaning. It was not formulaic at all. And it happened throughout the session. And that's because I chose to put Jen first and where she was at versus modeling some kind of coaching for you. So I really appreciate the question because it gave me an opportunity to speak to the fact that I chose Dr. Kelly over the framework in that moment. And that's a choice that we constantly have. It's the art and science of coaching. But I do want to acknowledge you for recognizing that in your question because it is important. We do the best that we can to get that agreement up front. And sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes it's more fluid.
Someone said, coach the person, not the problem, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're coming up on time. We have about 3 minutes, but Dr. Kelly, this question is for you. What was most transitional or transformational for you in this dialogue that you had? What was most meaningful to you in the coaching exchange that you had with Lorraine today?
Good question. Lorraine has this amazing ability to take, like she did with Sharon, like this big giant thing, and then, you know, get down to the really important grains that are needed to be talked about. So I appreciate that in Lorraine's coaching. I appreciated that she allowed me that time to have some deep breaths and I know it was only 20 minutes and I know time is of the essence, absolutely. But she saw the need in me to, you know, take a moment and do some reflection on what I was saying. And that was like transitional, as you mentioned, the words that I said after that were what grounded me in the fact that it was my choice. And then given that framework, then we could get to the real part of what I wanted to talk about.
Oh, thank you for sharing. We had another question come up from Tyler. It says, if we make that choice, coaching the person and the agreement becomes more clear as we go, will this be acceptable to the ICF when we submit a recording for ACC? Great
Tyler, I
question.
love you. That is such an important question. The art and science of coaching. The ICF, even though I'm the director of credentialing and standards, may not like this, but I am going to be real and say that there is a type of coaching that we do for our ICF accreditation performance evaluations. And then there is how we fall in love with our clients and are present in the moment and understand the framework and let it go at the same time. So we're holding the space, but we're also, and we understand the framework, we've learned it, we've got great training behind us. And we also, the person is more important. Now, so to answer your question, Tyler, specifically, your goal for ICF accreditation is to demonstrate that you understand the framework of the session of the coaching conversation and that you can demonstrate an understanding of the competencies. That's what they're looking for. So some clients play nicely in that space, others don't. Others just need space to really verbally process, and that's honoring to them. Others are really responsive and co-creative and give you space to demonstrate. So certain types of clients will support this process over others, and there is a type of performance evaluation that you'll submit so that you can demonstrate your understanding of coaching. And there's also this beautiful space that you saw me move into with Dr. Jennifer Kelly, which was really showing you the importance of coaching the person. So I think what emerged here, if I can take 30 more seconds, is that I was really true to the framework with Sharon, and I really saw the importance of letting it go with Dr. Jennifer Kelly. So I think we're seeing both. And so yes, it's different. Short answer.
Well, thank you. There's a lot of love going around here between you and Tyler and the whole group here. But
Yeah.
Dr. Jennifer Kelly, thank you so much for being here today. We're going to wrap up. But I want to wrap up by saying thank you to Lorraine, a special, you hold a special place in my heart, Lorraine, you're amazing. Dr. Kelly, thank you. And Sharon, thank you. Just want to share with you in closing that, if you're considering becoming a coach or getting an ICF credential, please consider the International Coaching Group, also known as Coaching Out of the Box. We have a fast track to ICF credential course that's going to be starting on July 25th. We also have our 555 coaching skills training program, which starts also on July 25th. It's an evening program, and we have over 40,000 people have just taken that trademark course in and of itself. We also have a certified diversity coach program, which starts on October 4th. But thank you very, very much for being here. We'll see you next month. And until then, be safe, be happy, and be coaching.
And be well. Bye, everyone.
Yes.
Take care. Thank you, Ellie. Well
You're very
done.
welcome.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.